Hello everybody, welcome back to the Lightning Oz Gaming channel. Destroying Ninja here. Okay, we're getting a fair way through Elden Rings, and I thought I'd give everyone an update. On our last video we put up a bit of a further enhanced guide. Now we're getting more into the game. We're starting to notice more and more advanced things we can do. So I'm going to start with a list of 7 things to help you guys, okay? 7 tips from Destroying Ninja himself to get you into the game. Okay, so number 1 is basically clear ads as a team or split up for even more XP gains. So basically the way that works is if you're in a really strong team and you're confident, you can go and gun down a heap of ads and that sort of thing and get chopping. Okay, sometimes it's a bit risky, but it can pay off. Very rewarding XP if you can actually go and gun down a few bosses solo. Okay, so no joke, when you all meet up you get extra XP that way, but as I said, it can be risky. For what most squads, I'd recommend sticking together as a team. Okay, it allows you to quickly eliminate most bosses, traverse the environment. Okay, and moving into tip number 2 here, get good weapons as you traverse around the environment. So you're going to have 2 options. So after each big boss you kill around the environment, they will drop a little chest, essentially a little blue orb in the sky. When you interact with that, you'll be able to choose from a list. So that's where you get most of the sick weapons. Okay, the better the boss, the sicker the weapons, it seems. So basically that increases the risk even more to attack the bigger bosses with the more health. Okay, so it depends on how you want to go about it, but strategize accordingly. Okay, so number 3 is as you move around the environment, make sure to get as many church flasks as you can. Each time you top up your health with 1 that you gather it from the table at the end of the church. So you start with, I think it's 3, basically you go up to 4 once you get 1. I think you can get up around 7 or 8 at least throughout the actual game itself, so you can really buff that up and get a lot of different potions to take mid-battle, which helps you stay alive for longer against these sort of monstrosities. So this one here, Adel, he is a particularly tough dragon. He is the chapter 2 boss that we're wailing on at the moment. Okay, so on to tip number 4 though. We're going to basically read the weapons bottom line as we put them into our inventory, because each weapon has a buff which actually enhances your loadout. So make sure you choose accordingly. There's some really good ones that can really strengthen your build if you read properly. Some of them even add different effects onto your weapon and that sort of thing. So simply by having those in your inventory, you're able to buff your other weapons, guys. So make sure your inventory is full of useful words that buff your actual build that you're going for, whatever it is out of the different builds. So we'll go into that in a second. But tip number 5 is to always buff towards elements for the final boss. So when you look at the start of each chapter, you get a little thing that tells you up in the top left corner of the boss's picture itself, when you hover over the chapter for him, which is his element. So some of them are poison and some of them are different elements such as holy weapons and that sort of thing. So you want to actually try to get, like, you know, a lightning bow if he's a lightning monster, or a lightning wand, you know, so that you're actually able to do more damage with a lightning dagger on that chest, for example. So you're going to be looking for specific weapons for your character too, and that leads into my number 6 tip for you guys, which is choose a character that helps the team as much as possible. So basically 3 archers seems to work pretty good because he's an OP S tier character, a lot like Duchess. You could nearly run 3 Duchesses and get a fair way, but the thing is you need to know how to buff them properly. That's why I'm adding in the other tips here, guys. Now moving on to number 7 is there is a revival token that allows you when you're down to actually get back up, which is amazing, especially against these sort of bosses. So as you can see, I've got 1 potion left. I'm getting wailed on running in as Duchess, trying to actually do the double time technique with L2 and triangle on him, which doubles the damage that all of my other teammates and me have done recently to the boss, which can absolutely demoralize and stagger his health bar, as you can imagine. So we've got him down quite away from this particular build. This one we had a Wilder, a Duchess and an Archer, and the Wilder did an amazing job. I think Wilder is a borderline S tier character sometimes, but I'd probably rate him more around an A personally. For me, I've got 2 solid favourites at the moment, and that is Duchess and the Archer, aka Iron Eye there that you see AK running around as. So he also looks sick once you get his wardrobe going. Okay, so you got to beat a couple big bosses. I think once you do beat this boss, you do unlock the wardrobe, which allows you to change your appearance of your characters, guys, for in-game currency that you earn. So, you know, if you want, you can go over to the live stream where we beat this boss yesterday and check it out yourselves. Okay, so those are my 7 tips, guys. If I was to give you an added one, it would be to monitor the boss, spec accordingly to their plan. Okay, you're going to want some sort of dodge out of one of the power-ups that you pick up throughout the 2 nights leading up to the main boss. So you got the first night, the second night, and then onto the boss. So you got that amount of time, all them days to prepare for the onslaught on the boss battle. So just try and get around. Make sure you level up. I'd level up as soon as you get your levels, so that way you're dealing more damage. Level up as quickly as you can and get to the max level you can, so you're raining absolute death on the enemies. Okay, that's how we're able to split up individually sometimes, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so AK's been out there helping me live, guys. We're going to be back on it live again. Okay, we're actually going to go up against the final boss of the game tonight, guys. So make sure you come over and lend your support if you haven't already. Okay, basically with this particular boss, he does have a lot of purple. It would appear to be lightning attacks to me, 100%. So yeah, you could buff for anti-lightning, like negate lightning attacks, sort of pickups along the way on that riding on the extra slots in your inventory if you wanted to. Just that sort of thing. You might even throw... I think this particular boss was weak to poison or something like that, if I remember correctly. But yeah, you might want to spec towards a poison bow for your archer or something like that. You know, but at the moment, as you can see, he gets near you, he crushes the health, which is why I personally have been maining the archer character lately. Even though I beat this one with Duchess, as you can see, I went down quite a bit. I'm pretty low on health. She's more of a tank sort of build. You really need to get on that back claw and thump him, but he keeps stomping you, which makes it difficult. So you need to time it well and monitor his patterns, as I was speaking about earlier, to get in and out at the right time. Now, in the way of getting in and out, I'd recommend sprinting to get in and out, not rolling or walking, you know, as opposed to it. Just straight sprint back. Get a bit of a distance between you and the big stomps that the boss does. So he usually has a huge radius, guys. Okay, hope you enjoyed today's episode. Till next time, guys.